So talk about like that first fight. Like, where was it? Like, I mean, like, how did it go about? Like, talk about like leading up to that first time, like walking in there.
So first of all, I was kind of the same weight. Maybe like no, I was like I was the same weight, but I was like super runner body. So like I had a runner's body, like so I was super small. And so I was 105. I was cutting down to 105. Terrible weight cut. I didn't know anything about weight cutting. Yes, I was in wrestling, but again, I am super oblivious. I didn't even know weight cutting was a thing. Like I was like, oh, like you cut 2, 3 pounds.
Right.
And I was with these girls, and I'm thinking, you guys are just 3 pounds out. No, these girls are cutting 10 pounds, and I'm like,
What
well,
the
I'm
hell?
just wrestling at my weight. Like I
Yeah.
was just thinking, all right. So the same thing with when I came into fighting, I had no clue about weight cutting or doing anything like that. So I think that first experience was a little like super new to me, and it was super rough because I was like, I had no clue what I was doing. I was just kind of winging it.
Hmm.
But other than that, honestly, I didn't even think about like the fight. I couldn't tell you if I was nervous or not because in my head I'm just competing. Like I've competed since I was in middle school. I've competed all like my teenage years. I competed in college. So in my head I'm just like just a competition.
Another day at the office.
Yeah, so I didn't really think about that. Like I train hard. That's all I know. Like gotta train hard.
Yeah.
Um and just go in there and well, have at
Hey,
it.
let's
Go.
go. I always find like every time I talk to somebody that's done, competed or done at a certain level, I always like hearing like how they prepare or how they think about certain things. And it always trips me out. Like for me, I'm like butterflies. I'm like, oh shit. Like, you know what I mean? But other people like, I'm like, what the fuck? I wish I could just be like that.
Well, because I think it gives me anxiety
Yeah.
to be thinking and like fixated on stuff. And um, my husband is that exact opposite. He's super fixated on his fights and how he's going to do things and all that. And I'm not fixated.
Hmm.
Like, I can't sit there and think about my fight. I'm not going to do that.
Hmm.
I'm just go crazy in my head. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, no, I'm just going to go do what I'm supposed to go do. And that's it.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Yeah, and it's cool because you did mention like, hey, I've been competing at such a young age, and that's one benefit of with the people that do anything is like if you've been doing it for so long, you know how to manage yourself, and how you said like if I would be thinking about it, it'd be bad. You know what I mean? The fact that the way you carry yourself, that's how what works for you, and that's cool because a lot of people don't understand that you don't have to be super fixated on something. At the same time, the most lax people that works for them too, or something in between.
Yep.
So I always like hearing when like people's psyche when it comes to like doing things.
Yeah, and some people they gotta like pump themselves up, like they gotta get ready, like get mad or whatever, and it's crazy to me because I'm just like, no, I'm
Yeah, I'm
just
just
back
here.
there, I'm just here.
I'm just here chilling. So you talked about getting that first amateur fight, and did you win or lose that first fight?
I won. It was in Albuquerque. It was for King of the Cage. Um, Shout out to John Judy. That,
Nice.
that guy's still around. But yeah, so Albuquerque King of the Cage. I won my first Ami
And you're like, all right, yeah, that's dope.
fight.
And it's cool because it like, oh my god, you're an animal. You're like, all right, cool. I'll go in there. Yeah, okay, cool, no big deal. Oh, I have to lose weight. All right, cool. Go in there and win. It's so sick. I mean, hearing something like that, like to you, it just like you were just going through the process, and then we're kind of making light joke of it, but it's cool that you were like you were focusing at that time and you did whatever you did, and it wasn't even like on your radar, but the fact that you did it and you did well, you're like, okay, cool, like I want to do this again.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, this is what I have to do. Like, that's it. But like, I'm just one of those people. Like, if I do something cool, or if I'm doing something, or if I do have an accomplishment or something like that, to me, it's like, all right, that's cool. And then like, I don't really like dwell in it too much. To me, it's just like, okay, but that's to me maybe not my my big goal. So maybe I just kind of like, okay, pat on the back, and then I'm like, go back to work.
Right? Hey, that it's so simple like that too with the consistency with anything. Like with these